viewers, Rectangular back, this time with another Marvel Legends review. Here we have the Walmart exclusive Thanos. He is 6 per case, showing up in a lot of different places in the country today, February 23rd, but I was also told that some stores aren't going to be getting him until the 27th, which I think is Tuesday. So yeah, start checking your Walmarts now. If you saw my last news video, I gave you guys a week heads up on this guy. Here we have some nice artwork on the side of the package where you can see Thanos going after somebody with the Infinity Gauntlet, and on the top we've got the gauntlet itself. Same artwork on this side. Here we have the back of the package, which reads, "Armed for war, Thanos wields the Infinity Gauntlet and plots to take over the galaxy." And that same phrase is repeated in 3 more languages. Here you see Thanos wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, which we did not get with the Build-A-Figure Thanos from a couple of years ago. This figure also has an alternate head and a more bright blue, kind of shiny metallic paint scheme on the blue areas, whereas the Build-A-Figure had a navy blue paint scheme. Alright, let's get this guy open and take a closer look. Here we have Thanos out of the package, and I must say he's very impressive in person. I don't know how they did this paint scheme, but it really looks amazing. It's almost like a candy apple look to it. When you look at it up close, you can see kind of like a real glossy layer, and then underneath you can see the details of his costume or his muscles, especially in the legs. But yeah, it's really hard to describe. A lot of it's not going to show up on camera, but it really picks up the light quite a bit, so hopefully that's showing up on camera. Yeah, I think if you're a big fan of Thanos, you're definitely not going to want to pass on this figure. He just really looks amazing. Not a whole lot different, it's the same sculpt. If you have the Build-A-Figure, you know what you're getting into. The skirt piece isn't glued on, so you can, rotate it. This one was a little bit cockeyed out of the package, and same with the gauntlets, and the chest armor piece is not glued on as well. There's just 2 pegs in his shoulders that keep that in place, and it tends to pop off pretty easy, so that could be a complaint for some people, but it doesn't bother me at all. Let's get a rotating shot here. Hopefully you can see how amazing that paint looks. Just so glossy, really light just bounces right off of it. Cannot wait to see what people in the ACBA community can do with this guy. So if you didn't like the dull blue, navy blue of the one that we got as the Build-A-Figure, this one is going to be much more up your alley. I like both. He looks this way in some comics and more navy blue in others, so it's really going to come down to what your personal preference is. The articulation is not going to be fantastic. He's got the single jointed elbows, and the gauntlets help hinder that as well. He can only go a little less than 90. I don't even think the gauntlets really make that big of a difference. So that's a little bit disappointing, but it's not like he's the most acrobatic type of character. But yeah, the gauntlet turned out really nice. The paint is really good. I left 2 in the store. The paint overall on all the figures was good. The only thing you really need to watch out for is the helmet. You got that gold stripe there. You got the gold on the crest and the stripe on the head, and that's where you're really going to need to pay attention to the figures in the store. Some of it had gold bleeding into the blue. That was kind of like the most common problem, and then also just not enough gold along the edges. So this one, of the 4 that I picked up, this one is actually the worst of the 4. I went back to grab this one for my buddy Al Chang. I had to open this one up anyway because he wants me to ship it to him loose, so I figured I would want to show the the worst of the bunch on camera anyway. So yeah, you can hopefully see the paint there. It's all overall, it's pretty damn good. You know, it could use a little bit more gold in those discs covering his ears on both sides, and but overall the teeth are painted well, and yeah, everything else looks good. The lines between his legs and the armor pieces are painted pretty well. No real smudges or bleeding that I can see in that annoying damn serial number. At least on this one it's not super obvious, but I used a gray paint there. And he does have peg holes at the bottom. This is kind of like that swirled in plastic. Looks like it's got the paint mixed into the plastic for his all his gold areas, and the yellow lines in the boots are painted well. I don't really see any kind of sloppy edges there. The yellow is a little bit hard to make out on that first gem, or the stone, as I like to call it in the MCU. But yeah, he looks good, and let's swap on the regular hand that he comes with and the alternate head so you can get a look at that. So here's that mean mug that everybody was waiting for, and I think it looks really good. Might be a little bit on the dark side, but overall I'm happy. Nothing that I can't modify. You know, that's why I always buy extras, so I can do some modifications. But yeah, this thing looks fantastic. Those the silver lines on the costume really turned out great. The only concern, I haven't compared it yet with the Build-A-Figure, is the torso doesn't really want to. I can definitely get it to click back, whereas like fully upright, but clicking forward doesn't really want to do much as far as that goes. But you know, you're not going to really have him in too many dynamic poses anyway. But you know, get a little rotation here so you can see his side. This side. So yeah, like I said, you want to take a look at these in the store to see. Make sure you get one that has some pretty straight lines as far as the gold goes. You don't want to have a whole lot of gold paint bleeding into that blue. And this one looks pretty damn good. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and you can see the alternate hand that he comes with, and it's a different gauntlet piece as well. You know, the glove is slightly different. You know, it's more like a cloth type material. So here's the gauntlet for the Infinity Gauntlet, and you can see it is definitely a different piece than the armor that is the same kind of armor on his right arm. So these pop off pretty easily. The doesn't look like you're going to have any kind of paint scuffing because it is a pretty loose piece. So you know, I think if you get one that's on there tight, definitely want to heat it up so you don't try to scrape the paint off. And again, here is the Infinity Gauntlet. So that looks pretty damn cool. Don't know if they'll be able to use this for anything else down the road, but yeah, I'm very, very happy with the way this guy looks. And let's get into some size comparisons. I went ahead and turned off these close-up lights so you can get a better look at the difference in the plastic or paint, and yeah, you can see just how muted or dark the Build-A-Figure Thanos is there on the right. He's got a much lighter colored skin tone, much more lighter purple. And then on the far left we have the Marvel Select Thanos, which is kind of a medium purple flesh tone, kind of a halfway between the two. So I'm probably going to try to match this Marvel Select. I think this guy is a little too light and this one's a little too dark, so he's, I think, right in the middle. Pretty happy with that. So I'm going to turn on these lights so you can get a look at the difference there and how shiny how shiny metallic the new Walmart Thanos is in comparison to the old Build-A-Figure. And obviously he's completely different with the different colored boots, and yeah, obviously the blues are different as well. Here we have Thanos next to Star-Lord and the Richard Rider Nova, and yeah, they look really good together. The Richard Rider Nova has the most similar paint scheme to this figure, so if you have this guy, you know how awesome the paint or plastic looks on him, and it looks just as impressive, if not more, on Thanos here. So yeah, he's very well matched. Here we have a couple of larger figures next to Thanos. On the left we've got Proxima Midnight, and on the right we have the Marvel Select Drax. And yeah, I think these look really good together. That Drax might be a little bit big to be posed with this Thanos, but yeah, I think the MCU Thanos is a little bit taller. He's definitely taller than Proxima Midnight, so she will work in setups with him. I think if they are, you know, if you fudge the photo right. But yeah, I'm not interested in getting that MCU Thanos. And here we have the Okoye Wave Black Bolt on the left with the Captain Marvel. Don't even remember which wave he's from, but he was a Toy Biz figure, and really goes to show that we need an update on still a lot of Toy Biz figures. You know, he was pretty decent for his day, but he definitely needs an upgrade. Hopefully when we get the new Captain Marvel movie, we'll get a new Marvel figure. So yeah, that would be nice. I was in a major scramble to try to find my Adam Warlock and just gave up. So I grabbed Rocket Raccoon and Gamora. So hopefully you got a good range of scales as far as size comparisons go. Obviously, if you already have the Build-A-Figure, you know what you're going to get into with this Thanos. But overall, I'm extremely happy. I really like this figure. At first, I was kind of like, oh, you know, really? That they're just gonna re-release the Build-A-Figure, you know, with updated colors. But yeah, this thing is definitely worth it. It's going to be hard to decide, you know, which one I want to use, as my main display figure. Probably this one. It just really pops more than the other one. Still like the other one. That one I think is more reminiscent of the Ed McGuinness Guardians issues that he did. But yeah, I think this one is kind of a little bit more looking like the classic version of Thanos, but with a more futuristic looking suit. So it's kind of a really cool hybrid as far as I'm concerned. And with that, hopefully you guys like the review, you share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I always love hearing back from you guys, so please leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.